This is Project 4 of Indesign Stage 2. We're working with our text and auto-flowing the text that we've been given from our client. Make sure that you are working on page 2. Don't work on the master page. You must be in page 2. We're going to open our Preferences panel and go to the Type section. In this dialog box, we need to make sure that the Smart Text Reflow is selected. What that's going to do is all of the text is going to flow from that first column on the first page, follow all of the text threads, and we're going to add pages to the end of the story. So everything keeps generating new pages from our spread. We're going to limit the text going to the primary text frames, and we're going to select to delete empty pages and leave preserve facing page spreads deselected, and select OK. We're now going to be able to place text into our document, making sure again that you are on page 2 of the spread. And notice that this is kind of weird. This box, because it's attached to page 2, is now showing up over the top of our cover page. Remember, we had just the 2 cover pages, the front, the back, and we inserted page 2. This will clear up as the story adds pages, and you'll see how that works. We're going to go into File, we're going to Place, and we're picking up the Exhibits document, Show Import Options, and Open. In the dialog box, we want to check to preserve styles and formatting from the text and tables. We do not want manual page breaks, no breaks. Make sure that Import Styles automatically is selected. We know there's going to be 3 conflicts. We will take care of those. We will use the InDesign style definitions, so make sure those are up and select OK. That's going to import a bunch of styles, and now we're going to place our loaded cursor into that first column and click. The program is now going to generate all the pages it needs to fill the story throughout the document. Looking at this now, you can see that there's some things that are really going to need to be cleaned up, because we have oddball stuff flowing. This is a title, it should be on the next page. We're going to put an insertion point inside the J. Paul Getty Museum paragraph at the top, and you'll see that you've got some overrides. So we're going to clear all of the overrides. So let's select all the text. You can do that either by Control A, or you can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks to select everything. And we are simply going to clear all of the overrides that are present. Now already that makes a little bit of a difference in what the text looks like. This time we're going to start applying and deleting character styles that have some conflicts and change what we're going to use. Putting an insertion point in the J. Paul Getty Museum text, we're going to see that that is the heading style applied, and we don't want the heading style applied to that. We want to use the page heading. So we are going to delete that. And if you select Delete Styles, we're going to replace this now with the page head style. Say OK to that, and that style now gets applied to all of the items that had the heading applied to it. The next thing we want to do is get rid of the style that was normal. So just grab that and drag it to the trash. Now make sure you're not clicking on that and applying that style before you delete it. So just go ahead and pull it to the trash can. We are going to replace this with no paragraph style. Select that and select OK. This time move your cursor to the second paragraph and right-click the location style and choose to edit it. By right-clicking the style in the panel, we can edit that style without applying it to the currently selected text. Click the preview option so you can see the changes as they're made. In the Span Columns options, choose Span Columns and change the space after the span to 1/8 of an inch. And you can see how that drops the text away from it and makes it easier to read. Find Paragraph Rules and choose Rule Below. So that's going to put a line in, and turn the rule on. You can see how that's popping up there. We're going to change the style to the white diamonds and make the weight 3 points. Now it's too close to the text. The text is sitting right on it. So we're going to do an offset, but it's going to be a very small offset, just a 1/16 of an inch. Select OK to apply the change to the style. We want each spread to cover one exhibit. The exhibit name begins the story on each spread, and these should all be formatted with the page head style now. We also want the Did You Know list of facts to appear in the color-filled box, and we have the first line of the fact list formatted with the box head. So we're going to have to move some things around. We're going to use the styles to create the breaks that we need to put the items in the correct places. Right-click on the page head and select Edit Page Head. Find the Keep options, and in there you're going to select the Start Paragraph on the next even page. If you move the dialog box, you can see that that has now shifted the text off of this page, and you can apply that. You can now see that on each page all of the headline text is in the beginning of the left-hand page. We have a long document, and we want to be sure that we are following good graphic design and we're not using too many different typefaces. We're going to use one typeface and use the different fonts associated with it and different styles. So to do that, let's move to pages 4 and 5 so we can watch how these changes are made. We're going to deselect everything on the layout so that we aren't applying styles in the wrong places. We're going to right-click on Box Head, and we're going to edit that. In the General tab, we are going to base Box Head on our subhead. Under Basic Character Formats, we're going to change our case from all caps to normal. In Advanced Character Formats, rather than have a horizontal scale of 90%, we want it to be 100%. Going back to our General tab, we can see that the style is subhead, and we have made some changes. We now have the character is now 100%, and we do not have the all caps. We can then say OK to apply those changes. You don't see a whole lot of change at this point. The next change we want to make is to the caption head. So right-click on that. We're going to edit Caption Head. Again, we're going to base this on subhead, but we're going to reset everything to the base and then make changes. You can see there's a lot of style changes that are different. So now reset that to the base to clear all of that, and we're going to make these changes. Under Basic Character Formats, we're going to change to bold italic, make the size 8 points rather than 9. The leading is going to be automatic. Case from all caps should be normal. Under Advanced Character Formatting, again we're changing to a 100% horizontal scale. And under indents and spacing, we're going to change this to a right alignment. Say OK to close the box and apply the changes. Now we're going to make a change to the subhead style, which will then be carried through to the children. So right-click Subhead and go to Edit. And this is what's going to make everything pop into the correct box. Under Keep Options, we're going to start Paragraph in Next Column. When we apply that change, you're going to see that the text has now moved way out from where we intended it to be. The reason everything is in odd places is because of the widows and orphans. So a widow is a short line of a paragraph that's at the top of a column, or a very short line that's ending a paragraph, where an orphan is a single line of a paragraph at the end of a column. It's really bad typography. We're going to go to pages 2 and 3 and put an insertion point into the third paragraph, first, second, third. We're going to clean a few things up. First of all, we're going to select the body copy, right-click on it, and we're going to duplicate the style. We're going to change this to body copy no indent and choose to base it on body copy. We're going to go to indents and spacing and change the first line indent to 0. Under General, we're going to apply the style to the selection and select OK. We now look at the single word that is at the top of the last column. It's a widow and an orphan. It's bad form. It doesn't leave room in the column for the subhead that we want. We can use the style we just created to make this. We're going to use the style we just created to fix this. Selecting all of the text under Visiting the Getty Center, we're going to apply the body no indent to it, which is going to pull everything up into place. We're also going to apply that to all of the text under Visiting the Getty Villa. You're going to continue to do this through the spreads to correct the text. It's going to be applied to the first regular paragraphs. Now this has fixed some of the problems, but if you notice on the first page of this layout, we still have a widow in the second paragraph of the text. So we're going to go back in and we're going to edit body copy again, because one of the ways we can help this along is to allow hyphenation. We can change some settings on how many letters are allowed before we can have a hyphenation, and we are going to set ours to after first and before last to 3 letters, and then say OK. That's taken up enough space that all of our text is moving much better. We don't have the widow and orphan problem that we had. Looking at the end of the document, you'll see now that everything has shifted and our cover page is now where it's supposed to be. We do have one orphan problem on pages 10 and 11. We have an orphan line that we need to fix. We're going to open the paragraph panel now and the options and look for the keep options, and we're going to select keep lines together and choose the at start end of paragraph with a default setting of 2 lines. If you preview this, you'll see that that forces that orphan line up onto the top of the next column.